Okay, welcome back to EdTech Lunch. On Tuesday, we talked about getting started with Google Forms. Today, we're going to dive into a little bit further and looking at turning these forms into quizzes so you can use them for assessments. A little bit of an audio issue with the first try, but we'll see how it goes this time. I think I've made the correct corrections, but as most of us in this situation, I'm just learning as I go here. So there. But before we get started, I want to talk to you guys about forms. So I've created this fun survey, and you guys know how to do that if you saw what happened on Tuesday. With just some pretty simple questions here. And what I've done now is I want to show you the responses. So I've had people fill it out, and what you can see now is you get responses. And what Google Forms does naturally is that it groups the responses into a graph. So for example, you're getting really quick, easy to read graph of the information, as well as a chance to copy that graph and paste it in something else if you want to do a slideshow of the results or anything like that, a Google Slides presentation. So, and again, it defaults to pie chart. I have not yet found a way to be able to change that. But for your multiple choice and drop down questions, you're going to get a pie chart. The other thing you're going to do is you can see by question what the results were, every single one, and you can also go into individual. So I have 144 respondents. I can see what this respondent was, and so on, and see which ones they chose. Now, I made this completely anonymous, so there's no names or anything attached to this information. However, if you were to do it for your classroom, you would definitely collect the email addresses and get a section where they fill out their name so you know who's answering which question. Today, what I said, I want to look into is the quiz function. So to get to the quiz function, you go into settings, click on quizzes, and you need to make this a quiz. Now, Google has offered a couple of options here where you can, it's called the locked mode on Chromebooks. So this only works if, for example, you're at a school and your students are logging into their own domain. And if you turn locked mode on, what it will do is that once they start the quiz, it will lock their browser so that they cannot leave. If they leave, it will end the quiz and you'll get a notification right away. So if there's something you want them to do where you don't want them looking up answers online or looking around for something like that, this is a great option. In the distance learning situation that we're on now, you will not turn that on because those Chromebooks, again, have to be logged into the domain, your school domain, for that to work. So what's going to happen if you turn it on now, because they're all logging on to their own individual networks, they're going to get a message saying lock Chromebook mode is on and you cannot answer the quiz. To release the grade, you have the option to release the grade immediately after each submission or later after manual review. So you can take a look at it, or as soon as they turn it in, they can get the answers. And you also let them know what they can see. They can see the missed questions, so it'll see which questions they answered incorrectly, their correct answers, okay, and then the point values of every question. So without any further ado, I'm going to turn my quiz here into a quiz, or I'm going to turn my survey into a quiz right now. So, if you look here and you click on the question, now what you've got is an answer key. So if I hit on the answer key, I can pick the right answer. I'm going to pick peanut butter just for now. I have the option of adding answer feedback, depending on what they answered, and I'll hit done, and you'll see the points value here is 1. A lot of times the point value is defaulted to 0. So if it's defaulted to 0, you have to go in and change it. But mine is defaulted to 1, and I'll show you how to change that in just a second. Done. Now, clicking to the next one, I'm just going to pick A as answer key, my correct answer here, and hit done. And I'm going to go again here, answer key, and hit done. Sorry. Superman's going to be my correct answer, done. And these were drop-down questions, so that's why there's no little radio buttons here. So I have to click on the right answer, done, and answer key, and I'm going to go done. Okay. So now what happens when I go to my responses, what you're going to do is you're going to get a result of, it'll give you an average, what your average score was, what the median score was, and what the range is, the lowest score to the highest score. Now what's happened here is all these have been marked 0 out of 44, okay? Because they were taken before I turned it into a quiz. It will show you the breakdown, how many people answered peanut butter and how many people answered jelly. How many people chose Chewbacca? Han Solo is the most important one here. And what side are you on? You pick one, and again, those are the answers. Now, if this happens, you have the option of going in to the questions and seeing this here. So, view options. Those are possible answers. That's the right answer. So, 8 people have chose peanut butter. That is the correct answer. Jelly is the wrong answer. And I'm going to save that and mark it. Can I go to the next question? That is the correct answer, yes. And Han Solo is incorrect. And I'm going to make these incorrect, and I'll save that. And I'll do the same thing here. Correct and incorrect. Save my changes. And correct and, oh, I think I just did that, sorry. Leave. And my next question is correct and incorrect. And finally, I'm going to make this correct and this incorrect and save my results. So, now when I've gone and marked them again, you can see that my numbers have changed here. My average is 2.2 out of 5. The median is 2 marks out of 5, and the range is, the lowest mark is 0, the highest mark is 5. And you can see here which questions were frequently missed. Okay, so 8 out of 44 got a correct response for this one. 6 out of 44 and 11 out of 44 got the correct response. And what this does is it allows you to go in, and when you look at your questions, to go and make changes. So for example, if you did a fill in the blanks question and someone typed in 5.020 as opposed to 5.02, still mathematically the correct answer. However, it would identify as wrong using this. You can go back and you can change some as well. If you made a small error in your answer key, you can go and change that as well. The other thing it allows you to do in this question view is if you want to ask a short answer question or anything along those lines, you can do so and mark that one yourself or assess that one yourself, and you would have that question and all the responses would be listed, and you can read through them and decide what you want to give it for a mark. If you'd like to give it a, one, depending on what the value is, 1 mark, 2 marks, 3 marks, and so on. The last thing I'm going to show you today is if you go into your More tab here and you go down to Preferences, what it does is it allows you to change your preferences. And what I always do is collect email addresses. I like that. Make question required. Yes. And default quiz point value is 1. Most of the questions I'm going to be asking using Google Forms are going to be true and false, fill in the blank, multiple choice, just 1 mark questions. And so that's what I do. I can always go in and change the value later on if I wanted to by hitting questions and going into my questions, answer key, and I can obviously increase or decrease the point value as I see fit. So that's all I have for today. Tune in next week. We're going to do some work with Google Slides. Again, I'm really trying to stick to this 10-minute mark. I know people are busy and have a lot of stuff to do, so thanks for joining me, and we'll see you on Tuesday. Have a great day.